Tonight, we delve into one of the most profound and vital subjects concerning our existence: the law of freedom. This revelation doesn't just theorize about liberty. It meticulously delineates the mechanism by which we live, grow, and determine our destiny. By the end of this presentation, I hope you will possess an understanding of this law, so complete that it feels as if you've studied it yourselves. 1. The divine source of freedom. The core tenet we must grasp is that freedom is a supreme, immutable law of God. It is not a privilege earned, but a divine, inherent prerogative granted to every intelligent being. God, in His infinite justice, wishes for no slave, and thus our individual liberty is a natural endowment, inseparable from the soul. However, this freedom is not absolute from the very moment of creation. The spirits teach us that the exercise of true free will is proportional to the degree of intellectual and moral development. 2. The three dimensions of liberty. The law of freedom manifests in three distinct, yet interwoven dimensions. A. Freedom of thought and conscience. Absolute, the first and perhaps most vital form of freedom. This is absolute and entirely sovereign. No force, no authority, and no law, human or otherwise, can ever restrict what we think or what we believe. Concomitant with this is the freedom of conscience. Because we are free to think, we are free to choose our moral pathway. Our conscience is the inner sanctuary where we discern good from evil, and the choices made here are the purest expressions of our spiritual liberty. B. Freedom of action, relative and social. The third dimension, freedom of action, is where theory meets reality. While our thought is boundless, our actions are necessarily restrained. Why? Because we live in society. Our freedom ceases precisely where it begins to encroach upon the rights and the well-being of others. The spirits unequivocally state that all human laws which violate natural freedom, such as those that endorse slavery, tyranny, or unjust servitude, are an abuse of power and a regression from the divine law. While civil laws are necessary to govern physical safety, they can never nullify our moral autonomy. A person may be physically imprisoned, yet their spirit remains eternally free to think and choose the good. 3. The mechanism of free will and its limits. How does this spiritual freedom translate into our daily choices? This leads us to the critical concept of free will. Free will is the faculty of the spirit that allows us to determine our destiny. Before each new incarnation, our spirit, possessing forethought and awareness, chooses the nature of the trials it will undergo, perhaps poverty, an illness, or a difficult familial environment. This choice is made to accelerate its moral progress through struggle and effort. Free will versus fate. This brings us to the distinction between free will and fate. Fate. The trial chosen, there is a type of fate in that the general framework, the nature of the life experience, the trial, was chosen by the spirit itself. Free will, the response. However, there is no absolute, unalterable fate governing the outcome of that trial. The result, whether we succumb to temptation, rebel, or triumph through patience and virtue, rests entirely upon the free will we exercise in the moment. For instance, the spirit may choose the trial of wealth. The fate is the possession of riches. The free will determines whether those riches are used for selfish indulgence or charitable good. 4. The inevitable consequence, moral responsibility. The most profound lesson of the law of freedom is that liberty is inextricably linked to moral responsibility. If we are free to choose, we are, without exception, accountable for those choices. We cannot attribute our faults or missteps to a capricious destiny, to a flawed character structure, or to the influence of malevolent spirits. We are held accountable because, at the fork in the road, the power to choose the noble over the base resided entirely within us. The consequences of our actions, both immediate and far-reaching into future existences, are simply the inevitable return for the quality of the free will we have exercised. Conclusion. In summary, the law of freedom reveals a sublime spiritual architecture. We are free. Our innermost being, our thought and conscience, is inviolable. We choose our path. Our spirit chooses the blueprint of its difficult lessons before birth. We forge our destiny. In every moment, our free will dictates how we respond to those lessons, determining whether we progress or falter. We are responsible. The resulting happiness or sorrow is a direct consequence of our own freely willed decisions. This knowledge empowers us. It transforms every challenge from a misfortune into a moral proving ground. Understanding the law of freedom is the first step toward consciously and responsibly directing the evolution of our own souls.